¿Qué desea ordenar?
Una Big Mac y... Oye, ¿pedimos 10 McNuggets?
Sí. ¿Miti?
Dale. ¿Te acuerdas cuando mamá te hacía compartir y peleabas?
Ey, más respeto a tu hermana mayor.
El amor de hermanos deal de McDonald's. Ordena por anticipado por el app de McDonald's y llévate 2 de tus favoritos como McNuggets de 10 piezas y una Big Mac por solo $6. Precios y participación pueden variar. Producto individual a precio regular.
Hey everybody, I'm Amy.
And I'm her husband, Chris. Every week on True Crime Recaps, we're bringing you twice the crime in half the time.
How would you like to hear about 3 terrifying Amish murderers in less time than it takes to stalk your ex on social media?
Here's how it works. We scour the internet for all the bizarre details to bring you some really out there recaps about the worst of the worst. What could be better?
Our favorite recap so far has got to be the one about Ed Kemper. I swear if you didn't know he killed 10 people, you'd want to have a drink with him.
If you've got less than an hour to get your true crime fix, True Crime Recaps is the show for you. After all, you've got a lot of mysteries to solve.
Follow True Crime Recaps on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss a recap. Have we got a story for you? We'll see you there.
Alexa, who is Adam Ferrara?
Adam Ferrara is an American actor and comedian known for playing the roles of Chief Needles Nelson on Rescue Me, Sergeant Frank Fiorelli opposite Edie Falco on Nurse Jackie. He was a co-host on the U.S. version of Top Gear. He has had 3 Comedy Central specials and his new album is called It's Scary in Here. Adam's new podcast is a big hit and available everywhere.
Sounds like it could be funny.
Sounds to me like 30 minutes you'll never get back.
Well, I'm glad we made it, and we got another great show for you this week. My guest in the ADD interview is motocross competitor, entrepreneur, and all-around badass Carrie Hart. And we want to welcome everyone from our Talk to Me Tuesday family. That's our conversation we have every week, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. Go to my website, click the link, and join the conversation. And our superfan shout-out is for Tyler. Say hi to Tyler, everybody.
Hey, Tyler.
How you doing, Tyler? And Tyler, if Mark was here, he would say, hey, Tyler, but he's not. He is at the U.S. Open, and he's getting flooded too. I mean, I'm in New York City. Alex is back at Abbey Normal Studios. Phil is adrift.
Still adrift.
And I'm here in New York City with all the water coming through the subways. I don't know if you saw the videos. Alex sent me videos of the subways flooding because she got nervous, and I'm standing here watching the subways flood. I'm like, honey, I don't need the video. I'm watching the 1 in 9 flume ride come down from the Bronx right now. It's all better now. It's just like it was so much rainfall in a short period of time, and New York's not ready for that shit. You know, it's just like, oh, all right, flood the subways. And here in New York City, every time it rains, there's going to be a guy in a corner selling you an umbrella for $5. As soon as the first raindrop hits your head, it's like, $5 umbrella, $5. Same thing happened here. The subways flood. They were right there, like life jackets, $5, life jackets. But it was weird. Everything just flooded.
I'm just thankful I'm not with you because when I'm hanging out in your apartment, you don't let me go to the bathroom there. So what, I have to swim to the billiard hall? You know what I mean?
Yeah. If Phil has to poo, it's not going to be here. Here's the reason Phil can't poo in the apartment, because it's going to stink. Okay. It was here for a few days after you left.
Okay. It was just that one time. And it was because I altered my diet. That happens to anyone.
Well, that's not going to happen to me. Not in my house.
So you would make me swim and tread water to go to the bathroom.
I don't care where you go as long as it's not in here. Yeah, honey.
All right.
I have known you for a while.
Mm-hmm.
I have walked into a bathroom or two with certain smells I've never smelled before. So I think we should go a little easy on Phil. And at least let him go to the bathroom when it's pouring rain.
I understand, honey, but here's the thing: is I own the house. I have the right to kill it.
Whatever, man. I'm not the only one that deals with this. You've taken many a crap in my apartment. I've smelled some stuff. What do you?
Not like you. Not like you.
Sir. Oh yes.
Oh no, Phil. I was concerned about you. I'm like, he's rotting from the inside. He's going to be dead in a week.
Come on.
Oh my God.
Yes.
Oh my God.
The point is there was flooding, and Stern's not here because he's at the U.S. Open, and the flooding got him too. He left me a message.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Hey, man, it's Mark. I am so sorry I can't be there for the taping this week. You know, I'm at the U.S. Open, and it's such a crazy week with the flooding, you know, and the huge storm earlier in the week. And now I'm just running around here in my little shorts and my soggy balls because I'm a mess. That's what I am. I'm a mess with shorts and soggy balls. I'll see you, man. Miss you guys.
Yeah. So there he is at the U.S. Open.
Phil's poo and soggy balls. Is this what we want to introduce Carrie Hart with? Come on.
Not really, but this is where we are. I want to apologize to Carrie Hart for Phil's ass and Mark's balls.
Goodness. Yes, we're sorry, Carrie.
Oh, my God.
Actually, I want to read you this email I got because it really it touched my heart, and I want to share it with you. Hi, Adam. I grew up on Top Gear US, one of my favorite shows. Tanner was my favorite because he drove like a beast. So obviously, the kid has questionable taste.
What?
Or possibly suffered a head wound. I'm not going to judge him.
Because he didn't pick you.
Exactly. But you were the best trio on TV. Top Gear was by far the best Top Gear they made. Honestly, you guys helped me through a rough time in my life back when my dad didn't know how to be a dad. He tried, I guess. But you're not here to hear my backstory. I just wanted to say hello and thank you. You guys grew up teaching me the best and worst vehicles and decision making. LOL. How cool is that? The guy, the kid, I don't know if the kid had the foresight then, but he's got it now about his dad didn't know how to be a dad. You know, it's not like, how could you do this to me? And like, he had a bigger awareness of the world. And I just thought that was great.
Yeah, to come up with that realization and have that insight. So,
yeah.
You know, it takes a lifetime or therapy to come to that conclusion.
Oh, I'm a grown man and I still have a tremendous amount of denial and blame. And that's it. I don't want to. Sorry, it's just easier that way. How could you do this to me?
Wow. Yeah, no, I just love the statement that he didn't know how to be a dad. And I relate to that because it never occurred to me before. But I know you had a great relationship with your dad.
It wasn't a perfect relationship, but the thing that touched me about this was we could help him get through it. And talking to Carrie Hart, their birth families gave up, and that's okay. But we're not going to do that. So that was something that I was really struck by. And I think I mentioned in the interview, something's either a warning or an example. And they just took it as a warning and did the work. You can see the work they did on themselves. And to change is hard because you gotta examine yourself. And that's why I prefer denial and blame. It's all your people's fault. I'm fine.
Yeah, I'm going with denial and blame too. I don't want to self-examine. You do enough of that for me, by the way. I don't have to do it on my own because you point out everything with me.
But I never do it unsolicited. You always ask me. You always like, I don't know. Yeah. So and then when I tell you, like, what do you know? And then another 3 days,
because I don't want to hear the shit you're telling me. I want to hear what I want you to tell me.
Exactly. That's why change is so hard. Yeah, hon.
Well, I saw the documentary, and you're saying that they worked so hard. It just seemed like they worked as a team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that it's like they really knew each other, and they're like, "Hey, this is what's happening here," and they communicated as a team, and that to me was wonderful to see. It was very inspirational, and it made me love them more.
That's good. And did you realize after seeing that how lucky you are to have me?
No comment.
But yeah, it's speaking the same language and knowing what things you have to work on. Look, I go from 0 to homicide. I yell. So I got to work on the yelling. We've talked about this before. Phil, what do you got to work on besides your diet?
I have to be comfortable in my own skin.
Yeah?
I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable in my own skin. Not all the time. Sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay.
I have to say that I want to try and be more in the present.
Me too. Because I'm caught in the thought process that all salvation is the future. I'm caught in when and then. When I get there, then I'll be happy. Oh, that'll happen.
You're so dramatic.
I'm not dramatic. Love me. Love me now. No, it's all future thinking. It's all that's what it is. And when you go there, it triggers desire and fear. I got to get it. What if I don't? And that's when I start yelling. All right. So I think we learned I have to be more patient and try not to get caught in future thinking. And according to my wife, stop being so dramatic.
That
Phil,
voice.
Yeah, Phil wants to be comfortable in his own skin, and Alex wants to stay in the present moment herself.
I would also think that Phil needs some enzymes. Just saying.
And maybe Phil, shove a room freshener in your ass. Maybe that could help.
I have no comment about this at all. I'm moving on.
Okay, I'm moving on.
I just want to apologize to Carrie once again.
Yes, this has gone horribly wrong, Carrie. We're sorry.
Without Mark, we seem to always be talking about Phil's poo.
Yeah, but I am grateful that Carrie Hart made some time for us. He's a really, really interesting guy, and like I said, he's just an all-around badass. This dude, and he's looking at himself to change to be better for him and his family, and we all commend that here at the home office. So you guys listen to this, and we will see you on the other side.
We all have some behavior that we would like to change about ourselves. We all care about our future, right? We want to be happy, we want to be healthy in the future, we want to be successful. And we certainly all want to help someone else change their behavior in a positive way.
What do you know? And then in another 3 days.
Because I don't want to hear the shit you're telling me. I want to hear what I want you to tell me.
You're listening to the Adam Ferrara podcast. This is 30 minutes you'll never get back. I am in no mood for this crap.
I am so happy to be back out on the road doing stand-up. And frankly, so is Alex. September 10th through the 12th, I will be at the Chicago Improv. September 24th and 25th, I will be at Flappers in Burbank, California. Wednesday, October 6th, I will be at the Listening Room in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Thursday, October 7th, I will be at the Park Theater in Holland, Michigan. Friday, October 8th, I will be at Bill's Lounge in Grand Rapids, Michigan. Saturday, October 9th, I will be at the Back Alley Comedy Club in Muskegon, Michigan. That's a lot of Michigan. October 14th through the 16th, I will be at Hilarities in Cleveland, Ohio. October 28th through the 30th, I will be at the Comics Roadhouse at the Mohegan Sun Casino in Uncasville, Connecticut. There's a link for tickets right here in the show notes, so you can go to my website and click the link there. And you know I want to thank you. Yes, I do. If you make any of these gigs, please come up after the show and let me thank you for all the love and support you've shown me and this podcast. All right, go on. Get out of here.
Angie's List is now Angie, and getting your to-do list done just got easier. Between back to school and with the holidays around the corner, it can feel like there's no time to tackle home projects. Whether you need help with emergency repairs or major upgrades, Angie matches you with top local pros who can get the job done right. Browse reviews, see upfront pricing, and instantly book hundreds of projects. Save time for what matters most. Book your next project at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
What's up, everybody? It's Rome from the Comedy Trap House podcast. Make sure you join me and my two best college buddies, Cam and Emmanuel, as we talk about everything trending in the news and just personal life stories that can make you laugh, make you feel good, and maybe sometimes make you question what in the world is going on out here. We cover topics from mustaches to cows storming the beach. And then we hit heavy topics like mental health and wellness. So make sure you tune in and subscribe to the Comedy Trap House for free today on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss out on new episodes. So please join us. If you need that midweek pick-me-up, well, we got it for you. So again, subscribe to Comedy Trap House for free today on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts so you don't miss out on the new episodes. Remember, wipe your feet before you come inside the Comedy Trap House.
Pay attention when I'm talking to you, boy.
ADHD, it's not just for kids.
Nice boy, but doesn't listen to a word you say.
Welcome to the ADD interview. It's not that you're not interesting, it's just that I can't focus. And my guest this week is...
Oh, look, a bird!
My guest this week is an adrenaline-fueled renaissance man. He's a motorcycle racer, a freestyle motocross rider who is known for being the first one to perform a backflip on a 250cc bike during a competition. I believe the initial reaction was, holy shit, did that just happen? He's an entrepreneur who founded H&H Tattoo and Clothing, which was featured on the A&E show Inked. He's a street bike builder whose charity, Good Rides, uses 100% of its proceeds to help veterans and military families in need. He and his wife, Pink, just celebrated their 15-year wedding anniversary. He was raised in Vegas and has broken over 80 bones in his body. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is Carey Hart. How are you, my friend?
I'm great. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you so much. Okay, I want to hear, I'm going to start at the beginning, but I got to tell you right now, you broke 80 bones in your body and you're from Vegas. My initial thought was, did you owe money?
Yeah, that could be the natural correlation, but dirt bikes, man. I started riding at 4 and it was a pretty serious job by the time I was 12.
Yeah.
Turned pro at 17 and the rest is history. But a bad day at the office for me isn't a very nice day. You usually leave in an ambulance and you're going into surgery or getting a cast put on your body.
Yeah. First of all, I didn't know there were over 80 bones in the body. When I read that about you, I was like, I'll be honest with you, Carey, after the first one, I'm like, maybe this ain't for me. When was the first time you broke a bone?
I was 12 years old, broken arm, nothing too crazy.
Right.
You know, just the trials and tribulations of being a motocross rider. And for the record, a lot of those bones were broken multiple times. So it's not 80 individual bones. I broke quite a few of them 2 and 3 times.
I'll tell you what, Carey, that doesn't make it any better for me. It doesn't. But you have that you have that mentality of that. When I said adrenaline fueled renaissance, man, I see it. I mean, I've been around. I was on a show called Top Gear, and I was with a race car driver. Yeah, and my friend Tanner Faust. And this is why this is one of the things I noticed in you that I don't possess, and I didn't know it until we were in that heat of the battle. Is we were doing a lemons race. Now, granted, Carey, it's TV. You know, it's a story. But we're doing a lemons race where we're all together. I'm going into a turn. I see the pocket. I can make up time, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna rub this guy and either flip him or just I'm gonna ruin his day. I lift it. I get back to the pit. Tanner jumps in, and I'm kicking myself. Rutledge Wood, who's on the show, sees my face. Is like, "What's the matter?" I'm like, I saw the pocket. I knew what to do, but I didn't do it. And he goes, "What's the matter? You're not a race car driver. You don't have that instinct." And I'm not a motocross guy. I don't have that instinct, but you have that instinct. And my question to you is this: that instinct, is that what made you try that flip that's never been done in competition before? And was there an opening where you're like, was there any decision to do it, or did you just do it?
Well, that's the thing about motocross, whether you're looking at it from a freestyle standpoint, you know, where you're the only one on the course, but you're trying to push the envelope, or from a racing standpoint. I mean, the difference of winning and losing is either, to your point, lifting or slowing down or second guessing yourself, you know. So as it pertains to the flip, you know, this was pre foam pits. This was pre any kind of safety measures. So it wasn't like I woke up the morning of the contest and decided, hey, I'm going to go flip a dirt bike today. There was much preparation that went into it. Sure. It was more from a BMX standpoint, learning flips, being comfortable upside down, understanding how the rotation works. Understanding how your body can control the speed, whether speed up or slow down the flip. I learned 90% of it on the BMX side. Right. But now, you know, going back to being 25 years old and, you know, pushing the boundaries and having, you know, that instinct to want to win anything that you compete in, there is the time where it's like, okay, you know, it's live television. There's 20,000 people watching, you know, it's time to put it on the line. And any kind of hesitation, that's where you end up getting hurt. So to your point, you know, you're going through in your mind, either you're worried about hurting yourself or the person in the other car. If that was a top level race situation, there would be no hesitation. There would be no concern about you nor the other driver. It's about, I got to find that hole so I can get in first place. Yeah, I get that. I have that laser focus on stage. You know, I'm a stand-up, so I get it on stage, talking to the audience. There's no thinking. That's my state of grace. Yeah. And I can see it in other artists and other competitors like you. So I could see that. And I'm like, there's no moment of indecision. That moment of indecision is what kills you. Exactly. And that's the thing. It's like, that's why, you know, no one's cheated Father Time. These are young men sports, you know, to have that intensity and have that quick response and have that low fear level. I mean, that's what separates the boys from the men in this situation. Yeah, there's a reason the infantry is made up of the kids. Exactly. They still bounce. I don't bounce so well anymore. Well, now you're a street bike builder now. Yeah. So it's been fun, you know, like I was saying a second ago, you know, no one can cheat Father Time. So I'm not going to expect that I can. You know, you know, my day job is still riding motocross. Fortunately enough, I don't have to compete anymore. So I still do lots of photo trips and film trips for Fox, and I still love racing. And luckily enough, probably comparable to some of the stuff you do, I get to run the plus 40 pro class, not just the pro class at the local national. So that is my day job, but kind of jumping the fence, going from the old guy in motocross to the young guy in V-twin, it's actually been really fun to start building motorcycles. I've always been a tinkerer, through my motocross career. I never made it to the factory level as a racer. As a freestyle rider, it's kind of run what you brung, and I always had to build my motorcycles. So from a privateer motocross racer through my freestyle career, I've always liked to tinker. It's kind of what keeps the voices quiet in my head. I don't sit still very well. And it wasn't anything on purpose, but about 5 years ago, I've always been a fan of V-twin, American-made V-twin motorcycles. If I wasn't on my dirt bike, I was out cruising around with my buddies. Right. And I just started kind of tinker on motorcycles, and it kind of caught the eye of some magazines, which led into getting some invites on custom bike build tours. And it's just kind of slowly built into where I am now. And what I'm doing now is I'm a brand ambassador for Indian Motorcycles. Mm-hmm. I do anywhere from 2 to 5 custom builds a year. And I get to go to events. I just got back from Sturgis. I'm out there shaking hands, kissing babies, talking about the good old days of motocross. So it's definitely filled a void in me of what I used to do when I was young and reckless and traveling the world, raising hell with my buddies. Now I travel the country, raising hell with my buddies. We're older and we're on street bikes.
Yeah. And you're raising money for charity, my friend. I want to talk to you about Good Rides. You guys just got back from Sturgis, and you're doing a great thing for veterans and military families.
It's been a fun project. Through my motocross career, I've always wanted to do, I've always done charitable things, contributing and whatnot, but I've always wanted to come up with a way to do my own charity. And it's a little tricky in the action sports world. There's a lot of great organizations out there that already support injured athletes in different situations. And it's really kind of hard to fundraise, from a motocross standpoint. So again, when I jumped the fence and started working with Indian has me go to 5 or 6 big rallies a year. And, those rallies are a great time. It's drinking beer and kicking tires and, having a great old time, but there's also a lot of downtime. And while going to these events, I noticed there's a massive, not only veteran contingency, but active military contingency that goes to these events and that rides street bikes. So me and Big B kind of got the idea of, hey, selfishly, we're in Daytona or Sturgis for a week. Let's selfishly, put away our things for one day. Let's put together an organized ride. Let's go out and raise sponsor dollars and raise money for veterans. So we started that 6 years ago now. And over the course of the years, we've slowly built this into a pretty strong machine. We do 2 to 3 organized rides a year. COVID's a little questionable, but 2 to 3 a year. We do a custom painted tank event where we have some of the top artists from all over the country paint tanks, and we auction everything off. And then we are a 501c3, but then we turn the finances over to Infinite Hero, which is Oakley's military charity. And they're doing some amazing things with it.
Yeah, I when I was reading about that, I wanted to ask you about giving back. And I also wanted to ask you about Sturgis, because we filmed there one year. Okay. I had the best conditions, Carrie, to ride a bike. They gave me a bike. They gave me a camera car. They closed the road. And they said, go. Yeah. I got up to 90. I went, and they're like, fast. I'm like, this is enough. Are you crazy?
You're like, I'm good.
When you guys are on your rides up there, it is insane for anyone who hasn't been in Sturgis. It took us 2 hours to make a left turn.
Yeah, it gets a little intense. This year was a very intense year.
Yeah.
They had about, they were claiming probably about 700,000 motorcycles, not people, but motorcycles.
Yeah. Yeah. And that community, there's an energy that I felt in Sturgis, because a lot of
absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the thing, the energy, whether it's Sturgis or you go to Daytona or some of these, large and small motorcycle events. The thing about the at least in America, as it pertains to V-twin, that community is very passionate. A lot, like I said earlier, a lot of them there's a big veteran contingency or active duty military contingency. It's a very proud, American group of people. And they all kind of have the same, same outlook, raise hell, ride motorcycles, have fun. And it's, I think for a lot of people, it's a great, especially in the landscape nowadays, it's a great vacation from life. No matter what your day job is, they lace up their boots and their jeans and their sleeveless t-shirt and, they're Fonda and Easy Rider for a week. I think there's something pretty special about that. There's not many things that you can do today that you have that kind of escapism and the camaraderie along with it.
Yeah, I get the same thing, but I get it on 4 wheels. In my head, I'm not Fonda and Easy Rider. I'm Steve McQueen in the 398 Fastback.
There you go. Exactly. So it's all comparable.
Yeah, but I actually, as an outsider at Sturgis, my first time, I actually felt that, and I wanted to ask you about it because you're steeped in it. So I was, thank you for confirming what I did feel. So I'm not crazy.
No, definitely.
I wanted to talk to you. I'll tell you. I told you before we turned the mics on, but I had Michael Gracie on, who directed Pink and Yours documentary about the great guy. And I watched the documentary, and I was watching you. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you, I was like, I could see the work that you guys put in your relationship, and I could see the work that you put in on you, because I'm doing the same thing in my marriage, because it's the most important thing to me. And you had your priorities in order, and the honesty in which you guys face your individual things you want to overcome to make the unit better. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's tricky, I mean, from the outside, people look to musicians, or even myself as an action sports guy, like, oh, it's rock and roll and late nights and good times. And, there was a time and a place for that, but that dynamic drastically changed when you have, 2 successful grown adults, 2 children, balancing of 2 careers. And it gets a little complicated. And without that 100% commitment, it just doesn't work. I'll be totally honest. The first tour with Child, when it was just Willow, it was a huge acclimation process, getting used to, no matter how late we stay up post show, Willow's going to wake up at 8:00 in the morning because she's on tour hours. So there's a big, there's a massive responsibility for my wife on stage and the machine that she has built and the professional boss that she is. But there's also a big responsibility on my side. It's keeping the kids quiet in the hotel room, and it's, making sure Willow's doing her homeschool, and it's making sure that, Alicia's staying healthy and protecting her voice. There's a lot of weight that I have to pull. And, I'm not patting myself on the back by any means. I mean, there's a lot of amazing fathers out there, but I think, to be able to put my ego aside, my chest beating aside, I'm a big badass dirt bike rider, and play dad for 2.5 months or 2.5 years at a time on tour. I think there's something to be pretty cool to be said for that.
That's what I just really responded to. And I went, this guy transcended me for to be connected to that unit, and the way you guys did it, or continue to do it is inspirational, admirable. And one of the things I took from it to try and help me is, I think Pink actually said it. It's not, your life is just one big thing. You're flowing from one thing to the other. And I think that helped me, rather than say, well, my career is good, but I got to pay more attention to the, if you look at it as one big thing, you just look at the circumstances you're faced with, like, how do I want to do this now? Did you guys find that to be helpful?
Well, we've always kind of had to do that dance, I mean, going back to when we first started dating to present day, there's always been a dance of her career, my career, when we're going to, I mean, honestly speaking, we didn't even live under the same roof until 2 years after we were married, because home was a tour bus or a hotel room.
Sure.
So, I mean, we still have to do that to this day, like when we come off tour, I feel that I do a pretty good job on maintaining my career while we're out on tour. Obviously I can't go to every appearance or every event that my sponsors may need me to, but then the pendulum swings the opposite way when we get off tour. Then I can kind of put my career as a priority, and, where my wife's, spending more time with the kids, and it's just how the pendulum kind of swings. But it's a very tricky dance, because I can't completely immerse myself in my career and say yes to every appearance, because then my family and my kids will suffer due to that. So I'm not saying it was an easy process to figure out. It's taken 15 years to get it pretty well fine-tuned, but we have our glitches once in a while as well.
You guys met before, like you were a big time motocross guy. Pink didn't hit you. I think it was Get the Party Started was the big bang for Pink, but you guys met before that. And if I do my research, I think you had an F-350. You had a big old Ford.
Well, that's the funny thing is, I was, arguably approaching the peak of my career.
Right.
I was making great money, and, I was a household name at that time due to, the flip and all that stuff. And she just released her second album and was still kind of on her up, on the early part of her upward trajectory. So there, and that's the thing. I think one thing that was it's a very grateful lesson I learned in my life. It was very humbling, is that, I'm a big fish in a little pond. I was the dude in motocross, yet 2 years or so after dating, after I do my flip and after I've been on, all the late night talk shows, and I think, the best thing since sliced bread, I go to an MTV Music Awards and people don't even know my name, or they're screwing my name up, and they're saying, hey, can you step out? Can we get a single shot of Pink on our own? And it was kind of like, wow, like there's a much bigger world out there than my little world. And it was one of the best life lessons I ever learned, because it's like, there's always going to be someone bigger, better, more popular. Yeah. I'm grateful for the life that I have. I'm grateful for the career that I've had, and I don't take it for granted.
See, that's great. That attitude is great. It's just like, if you stay in your lane, there's stuff to see,
Absolutely.
Yeah. If you can, I always bring it back to cars, Carrie. I'm like, if I'm stuck in my lane, I'm looking forward to look at what I can see. If I want to get out of this lane, I'm looking behind me. I got to check the mirrors. I'm distracted from moving forward. Was that a big adjustment for you, or did it come? I mean, it had to be, I'm guessing. You and Pink because to have the focus to accomplish what you guys have accomplished is hard enough to do on your own. To do that and to raise what obviously I saw was a pretty well-adjusted and honest family. That's fucking hard.
I mean, yes and no. I think because we kind of grew up together. I mean, we met, I think I was 26, she was 22.
Right.
We were kids. We were puppies anyway. So we've kind of grown up together. I think that was sort of the easier part. Like, I think we could each relate because of where she was in her career and I was in mine. We kind of had peers to bounce, certain situations where, like even in your position, like if you get into a big spotlight situation, it's kind of hard to call your buddy from high school who's swinging a hammer for a living and see if he can relate to what you're going through.
Right.
So I think that was one of the good aspects of it. But then, I think the harder part is, being a couple, kind of a high profile couple, or in our little world, the scrutiny and, the tabloids of the early 2000s and all the crap that goes along with it. It's not easy on a relationship either.
Yeah. Yeah. But I tell you, the kids look happy. The kids look great. I mean, again, I was just watching the documentary, and that's to me, that's the ultimate reflection, because there's no filter. There's no. They just being,
Yeah, I mean, that documentary, we were shooting 18 hours a day for a couple of months.
So while you were on tour playing Wembley.
Yeah, and while when you're waking up in the morning and here comes Michael sneaking in with his sound guy, capturing fly on the wall moments. So right. you can't fake it. You can fake it for a minute, but the truth's going to come out. And honestly, as it pertains to my kids, I think it can be scrutinized either way. I mean, it has been, but I think my wife touched on the documentary. My kids are children of the world. When we're home, we live in a very small town. We live a very normal lifestyle. My wife's part of the PTA. I take the kids to the BMX track. I mean, we're a very, very normal family. Yeah. But on the flip side, my kids get to go travel the world. They get to be, because of my wife's camp, being 200 plus people from dancers to band to riggers and everybody, they get to see and be around all diversities of the world. Yeah. They get to experience what Europe's like and Australia's like and South America's like. So I think for well-rounded kids, it's amazing. Like, I mean, they're getting life lessons that most people don't see in a lifetime, let alone Jameson being 4.5 and Willow being 10.
Yeah. And you can see the way the kids communicate. And that was one of the things when I was reading about Pink and you had to learn to speak the same language. That was an issue in the relationship. And that crystallized something in I think my wife knows what I'm thinking because she's so good at knowing me.
Yeah. Communication's key, and, parenting and co-parenting, it's important to be on the same page and, have the same agendas. And, it's just no matter what our day job is having that normal foundation and that grounded foundation to parent our children and to be responsible for our children and to raise them properly.
Yeah. I speak caveman and I have no patience. I don't. If it doesn't fit, I hit it with a bigger hammer. So,
yeah.
But what I noticed when you said about communication is, what's the bottom line? What do I need to fix, kill, or paint? How does this end?
It can get tricky. I mean, it's definitely nothing that I've mastered. I think I'm doing the side, but maybe the communication side, I think we can all do a little better at, but you learn from your mistakes and move forward.
I think it was either you or Pink said something in an interview that you both came from, because your parents were divorced. Her parents, she was raised by her mother. And you said, I think she said, of your two families, is our two families gave up, and that's fine, and we're not going to give up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I can speak on behalf of many people. Marriage isn't easy. It's constant work, and we're going to go kicking and screaming, and I mean, who knows? I think one thing we both kind of are very good at is learning from either past mistakes or mistakes our parents have made. I try not to follow some of the habits that are ingrained in my family's heritage. And I think she tries to do the same, and just be better and learn from it. I mean, no one's perfect, and we are far from it, but we're just putting our best foot forward. Yeah. And something's either, Carrie, something from your childhood, your past, it's either a warning or an example. Exactly. And I'm trying to, what I'm doing now is, again, what I'm trying to not do of the example I got was the yelling. I just, for some reason I turn into Ralph Cramden. I don't know why. I'm just screaming, and I can't, because once I get in that emotional state, I can't, I'm just reacting to that emotion rather than being present in the moment. So that's one thing I'm working on. I can definitely be guilty of that. I mean, just trying to acknowledge it and be smarter and learn from it. I don't think there's any magical formula. I think it's, I think you hit the nail on the head earlier. As an example, if your family has a history of alcoholism and you see yourself going on that same path, be aware, make a change. Just simple things that some people just can't seem to look past. Yeah. And it's getting past the idea of how you think should be and how you think things have to go in order to feed whatever idea you have of yourself. Totally. And you know what? It's really easy to throw your hands up and be like, well, this is my destiny. My old man did it. My grandpa did it. So I'm going to do it. Well, you can change. People can change. Yeah. That's the one thing I got from you two is you're in it together. My wife and I are in it together. And I really admire the fact that not only you're the first one to flip a fucking motorcycle, but your priorities and your charity work and the things you did. And I really, really enjoyed. I felt like I was part of your family for that hour. It was great. It was really, really well. Oh, I mean, that's awesome. It's kind of funny that, I don't want to speak on behalf of Michael, but, there was sort of a direction with this documentary when, it first came to surface. It was more about the tour and the road to Wembley and all these other things. But, once we all landed in Europe and the cameras were rolling, not really knowing the family dynamic and not understanding how hands-on of a mother that she is, and I don't want to speculate, but I don't know of anyone that does it the way she does. Right. So I think the narrative kind of took a little bit of a change in direction once, everything was up and filming. Yeah. Yeah. And you guys, I think Michael had the good artistic sense to seize on that because it was something like I've never seen before. And just getting back to the thing that Pink brought from her family when she was talking about, her childhood and grew up. One of my favorite things, Carrie, in the movie was when her fifth grade birthday party, she invited everybody. Nobody shows up. And her mother went, well, we're going to make this special. Me and you. Exactly. I was just like, oh, where's Pink's mother? Where's Mrs. Pink? I got to give her a hug. Well, and that's a great thing, like something at the time at a 5-year-old, it's so tragic. It's probably the birthday party that stood out the most of their whole life. Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, I highly recommend it. It's called Pink, All I Know So Far. And I thank you so much for all your charity work for helping the military families. And if I had money and talent, I would buy one of the street bikes, but I'll kill myself and others. Well, tell you what, if you ever get the itch, come out to an event. I can get a loaner Indian for you. We don't have to go 90. Okay. My theory on V-twin motorcycles is if you're going too fast, no one can see you. Yeah. It's all about looking cool on your bike. So if you ever get the itch, come on out for an event. We'll go cruise around and I'll show you the cool side of the events. I certainly will. And thank you for my time, my friend. Best to you and the family. All good. Thank you.
The ADD interview was brought to you by cruisintowellness.com. Yes, you know it, cruisintowellness.com. That's where you go for all your CBD needs. Now, let's say you were a motorcycle racer and you broke 80 bones in your body.
Not 80 individual bones. I broke quite a few of them 2 and 3 times.
Still, it seems to hurt. And where do you go for relief? cruisintowellness.com. They have pain creams, edibles, tinctures, bath products, pet products, and you know how much I like the gummies. So you go there and take off 20% with the coupon code ADAM. 20% off anything they have at cruisintowellness.com. Go. Feel better.
I'm Carrie Hart, and that's 30 minutes I'll never get back.
I really like that guy. He's an all-around badass that does shit for charity. I'm like, I've done nothing with my life.
Hey, raise hell, ride motorcycles, and have fun. Love it.
Yeah, man. All I know is that dude and I lead completely different lives, man. A bad day for him, he's in an ambulance. You know what I mean? A bad day for me is, I eat too much ice cream cake.
Yeah. And your lactose intolerance, which explains why you can't poo at the home office.
Oh my God.
Oh, my goodness. Let's not start this in the second half.
All right, fine.
Please.
Like I told you, he's doing the work, and the family is still a priority. I was like, this is just a centered dude that I want to hang out with and ride a motorcycle and try not to embarrass myself.
Yeah, he's a centered human being, but they both seem that way. And that they live in a small town and she's still on the PTA and he's, helping out, all that. I mean, come on. He's like an all-around guy. I mean, he builds, he rides. He's pretty cool. I liked when you said, I just don't have that competitive edge. I mean, you either have it or you don't.
Yeah, he's got both. He's got compassion for other human beings and a killer instinct on the track.
Well, yeah, I kind of like the fact that you didn't take the lemon race any further, Adam, because you would have been dead.
I would have been all right, but I would have pit maneuvered that old guy in that VW bus. And I would have felt awful. Here's what I learned from that race. I would rather take physical pain than long-lasting guilt and regret. That's what I would rather do.
The funny thing is, maybe that guy would have did something in reverse and you would have flipped.
Fuck him.
I mean, you just don't know with those things. You have to really, put in the time and just know. I mean, it's almost like having another sense. People like Carrie have another sense that most of us either don't cultivate or don't have, or so the fact that he has that sense and he's such an, seems to be such an awesome guy is just really rare, and I'm so glad that we get to meet people like this.
Yeah, me too. But the more I think about it, he's really starting to annoy me now. He really is.
And he's not bad looking, Adam.
Just keep piling on, Ferrara. Go ahead.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, why don't you bring up his charity work? And he helps veterans. What'd you today, Adam?
Adam, when he said that, I'm like, and he helps veterans. This guy is, 100% go to that charity. I was like, oh my goodness.
All right, fine. Show's over. I had enough. Life is hard. Take it easy on yourself, and Elias go to hell.
Hey, I want you to know that I crush on Pink too. So they.
You crushing on Pink?
I always crush on Pink. She's just a badass. He's a badass. Their kids are cute as hell.
Yeah, I tell you what, I love Pink's mother.
How great is she?
Yeah, when adversity hit her kid in the 5th grade, no one showed up. She's like, "This is going to be the best birthday you ever had." I love that woman. She did
that was amazing.
Job.
Yeah, that was amazing.
I said that on the other show too. That's what I took from the documentary. I'm like, look at that lady. Yeah. Look at her. If she was in the subway, I would buy her a life jacket.
I don't know how either of you guys do any of this, man. When I was a kid, I wanted to be Evel Knievel. Did you know that about me?
I suspected it, Phil. Honey, I don't know if you know this, because when I first met Phil, he was wearing a cape and a helmet. And
just shut up, Adam.
No, I did, man. I wanted to be Evel Knievel. I just loved the fact. Remember that time he jumped all those cars and he was like flipped around like 90 different times and he broke every bone in his body. I was like, that guy's cool, man. Right? That's who this guy reminds me of. You know what I mean? So, but the closest I ever got was a moped. That's as close as I ever got. I had a moped with a chamber on it. It went 45 miles an hour. And I was jumping, like we set up a mock ramp with like plywood and a barrel. It wasn't safe at all. And I'm jumping the thing. I was an idiot. I was an idiot kid.
On a moped.
On a moped, yeah. I was Evel Knievel on a moped.
Obviously, the early years of Evil.
Listen, I was on a budget. Okay, I couldn't afford a motorcycle.
That's funny.
Man. Yeah, but I'm telling you, man, I was gonna build a ramp. I was ready to go. I was getting it all ready, and then I burned my leg on the tailpipe, and I was done. That was it for me.
I love it. Evil taken out by a blister.
Yeah.
And then Phil went to his mother. Ma, sell this. I'm done. Buy me a magic kit.
Yeah. Cut to the garage sale. Will you take $50?
Yeah.
Yep.
Is this human flesh on the exhaust? It'll burn off.
I do have to say, I liked when he invited you to go for a ride, and you're like, well, I don't know. And he goes, look, you don't have to go 90 because if you're going too fast, no one can see you.
Oh, believe me, honey, if I was riding motorcycles with Carrie Hart, I'd want everybody to see me because it could be the last time. I'm probably going to hit something and burst into flames. So,
Adam, hopefully that won't happen. But please don't wear the same thing you wore when you did the Top Gear episode in Sturgis.
Why? What'd I wear?
Oh, my goodness. I'm going to put a
What did he wear?
so everybody can see what you guys wore. You guys look
chaps?
ridiculous. Yeah.
Oh, we look ridiculous on Top Gear. Did you not notice that that's the goal of the show?
Oh my goodness. I was like, oh, of course I knew it was scary, you riding a motorcycle, but I'm like, what is he wearing?
That's what she was afraid of.
That's what I was thinking.
She wasn't afraid of a compound fracture. She was afraid of, there's going to be online ridicule. I can see it now.
I have never seen you in chaps, and I hope I never do again.
Live to ride, baby. I want to thank Carrie Hart for being my guest. He's a really, like I said, an adrenaline-fueled Renaissance man, and I'm grateful he's made some time for us. If they want to get a hold of us, where do they go?
AdamFerrara@gmail.com.
And if you get a chance to leave us a review, that actually helps us with our friend,
Mr. Algorithm.
And the show's growing, and it's all because of you. We are very, very grateful. So tell someone you love about the show, and we will see you guys next week. And please remember, life is hard. You take it easy on yourself. The pod has ended. Go in peace.
I have walked into a bathroom or two with certain smells.
Right.
I think we should go a little easy on Phil.
I understand.
Let him go to the bathroom when it's pouring rain.
I understand, honey, but here's the thing: is I own the house. I have the right to kill it.
I am so glad I don't have a digestive system or a nose.
Angie's List is now Angie, and caring for your home just got easier. Whether you need help with routine maintenance or a dream remodel, Angie makes it easy to see reviews, compare quotes, and connect with top local pros who can get the job done right. Plus, you can see upfront pricing and instantly book hundreds of projects. No phone tag, just the work you need done at a time that works for you. Angie's got your to-do list covered from start to finish. Book your next home project today at Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
Ay, qué hambre. ¿Pasamos por McDonald's?
Va, ¿qué ordenas normalmente?
Una quarter pounder.
Ah, eres una burger person.
Y unos McNuggets.
Ah, eres de las mías.
La mejor manera de conocer a alguien deal de McDonald's. Ordena por anticipado por el app de McDonald's y llévate 2 de tus favoritos, como un McNuggets de 10 piezas y una quarter pounder por solo $6. Precios y participación pueden variar. Producto individual a precio regular.